Hi everyone, welcome to Relating Relationships
Welcome to Relating Relationship
with me, Terry Nkosi.
with me, Uvusu Nkosi Udlamini. It's Dubla Salomamba. I believe we're going to have a wonderful time together.
Alright, Vusi Nkosi is my husband now, but we met some years back. And how we met in the train. We used to travel together from Batchley to Johannesburg by train, and we met there. Voila, the train, it's a big space, but there are a lot of people that are traveling by train, but somehow, somewhere, we got to meet and we became friends, and later on we dated, and years later, we are here, we married.
How I met my lovely wife, I was using a train to Pretoria from Kempton Park in the East Rand, and we met in the train. It was a group of young people who used to get together and we used to use the train together. So yeah, that's how I met her.
How did I know? He was an outstanding brother at that time. Among the many friends that I had a lot of friends and male friends for that matter. But when we started the friendship and we used to speak a lot, we used to read books together. We traveled at some point, we used to travel just the two of us. And as we were conversing, we would talk about anything and everything. Somehow there was just this chemistry between the two of us. There was just magic between the two of us. And at that time, when we were friends, I knew, man, this is a potential.
The first time I actually got to know her, it was in a group of setting, and I didn't pay attention at the time, but it's only when we started talking and having conversations together that I started thinking, wow, okay, there's potential here. Yeah.
Let me think. I think features changes with time, but let me speak about that time. At that time, it was his structure, his body structure. It caught my eye. He used to go to gym, and I'll pray that he goes back to gym again. But nonetheless, at that time, in those years, in our 20s, he had such an awesome body structure.
Oh, her smile. I love her smile. I think that's one thing that also drew me to her. She's got that smile that makes you comfortable, that makes you welcomed. Yeah, I love her smile.
He bought me this watch that I so much loved. And I remember one of my bosses at work, he was reprimanding me, but my watch caught his eye. And as he was shouting, he said, by the way, your watch is nice. And I was so extra happy. So that is one thing. And unfortunately, the watch was stolen, but it's okay. But that was a gift that I so much loved.
Also, it was a watch that she bought for me, and I loved that watch. And wherever I was, people would ask me, where did you get this watch and stuff. And unfortunately, when hers was stolen, mine was stolen as well. But yeah, it was definitely the watch.
I would say you are my forever. You are my forever, and I will always cherish the 23rd of September 2006 when I made my vows, which haven't changed, but actually I have added more, like the statement, you are my forever.
If I had to redo the vows, I would say you are my peacemaker. Yes, when I go out there and life happens, I look forward to coming home and when I share with her my stresses and my struggles, she's got a way, by the way, she's got a degree in psychology, so she's got a way of comforting you and making you realize that it's not the end of the world. Relating relationships, I think where it started, it has been something that we've always wanted to do for a very long time, and to talk about marriage. But we wanted to talk about marriage and the defining thing being the relationship, the relating part of the relationship that we would have in marriage. So we want to talk about what happens before marriage that can affect your marriage, and what you need to look out for, and all these things that happen before marriage. What happens in marriage that might cause problems and strengthen marriage, and to those who've gone through marriage, to say what is it that we can learn from them in terms of empowering them in marriage. Yeah, I think, is there anything, my love?
I'll add to that to say that it has been a burden in our hearts,
Yeah.
looking into a lot of marriages and how the relationship is in marriages, and we realize that we need to somehow get to talk to couples about how they relate in their marriages. How do they communicate? Do they even relate in what they call a relationship?
Yes, yeah.
You know, in the confinement of marriage, of course. But, you know, there was just something that was not gelling, or that is not gelling in a lot of marriages in terms of them struggling to relate. How do we relate in marriage or in relationships?
Because I think it's also something that we've had gone through, whereby there's phases in our marriage whereby we were not relating that very well, you know, in communicating, in finances as well, where my relating with her was stopping me from being able to communicate with her freely about our finances, you know. But we also seen that in marriage, we've also seen that how much of what we go through in our marriage comes from our past experience.
That's true.
And how we built those relationships and how we related with the people that we met before. Even your parents, how you relate with your parents, how you relate to your father and your mother, how you relate with your siblings. That gets carried over to your marriage. And it can either be positive or negative, can affect the marriage positive or negative. So we want to have this conversation that we can get all different type of people, not only those who are married. We want to talk to those who are not married, those who are looking forward to marriage, those who say they don't want to get married. Why? Why doesn't this person want to get married? And you find that the parents are married and it looks like they're happy. So we just want to have this whole conversation. But the driving force is we need to learn to relate in our relationships.
That's correct. That's correct. And yeah, what is it that we want to achieve, I guess? Like Avosi has explained, Tuguti, we just want to, the achievement, what would, you know, sit with us and go like, yeah, we have achieved what we aspired all along. It's to see marriages, healthy marriages, marriages having better communication, reviving marriages, I would say. You know, bringing back that spark of love, that, because that has been the foundation of this getting together. Yes. Until we even decide to marry. The foundation was love. Where do we lose it? And how we lose it, it's because of how we relate. Whatever affects it, how we relate, being where we come from, our background, being how our parents related, being how we related with our siblings. We just want to find out where we're missing it, where can we fix it. That's it.
And I think the other thing as well is to learn.
Yeah.
You know, for us to learn as well. And the reason we're having this so that we can open a scope of learning. You know, from talking to somebody who is maybe in the 20s, early 20s, and who says, I would love to get married one day. But you see that he's got these relationships that are toxic, that she's embracing at the time, and how that we can help that person to see that if you carry on with that, these are things that would actually happen in your marriage, might happen in your marriage. Have those who are in marriage who are saying things have been going well. You know, we know how to communicate, we know how to deal with issues in our marriage. What is it that is making it happen? You know, is what we're thinking is a problem really the problem, or is there something else? So it's just to create that community of people that we can talk about these things and just discuss them.
That is correct, but we're not sitting here today and saying we are marriage experts.
Yeah.
But we are saying to everybody out there, let's get together. How do we help one another? How have you conquered? How have you overcome whatever that you're going through? Because what I believe is every marriage goes through the same thing.
Oh yes.
But how we handle it, how we view it, is what is different. And what brings different outcomes. Because there's one thing that can happen to two couples. One conquers, one gets defeated.
About the same thing.
By the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Exactly.
Wow,
About the very same thing. Now, the one who conquered, how can you come in and help the one that was defeated?
Wow.
So we are here, we are in this institution, and we are saying no one is an expert. But when we bring our thoughts together, when we bring our experiences together, we can do wonders. And we will live in healthy marriages that we are able to even transfer to our children. Because how we relate in our marriages, it's going to our children.
Yep.
It's either the relationship in their lives will malfunction. That is entirely depending on how we relate as couples. But like we are taking it to any level of relationship, before, in, and after. In our next episode, we'd like to talk about the topic, what is marriage? What does it mean to you? We are married, babes, but do you even know what marriage is?
You know, and I think it's a very good topic, because we're not just only saying what is marriage, we are saying what is marriage to you. We will even as well dive into what we believe marriage has been. Let's look at the Word of God. Let's look at what has been said in the magazine. But let the defining factor be, what is it that you believe marriage is? Because that's exactly what you're going to carry into your marriage. So let's have the conversation. We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook and YouTube. Please come join us with Relating Relationships.